I should really just learn that good things don't happen to me when I play dating sims, but yet I'm here again. This was on sale on Steam, and I didn't. It's like Peter's like, "Hey, this is on sale," and I'm like, "I don't have any money. I spent it all. God damn it!" And then she just bought it for me. So yeah, thanks for that. Hopefully this won't end in shrieking tears like the last one. For those of you who don't know, I once had a Let's Play that was called Fading Hearts. That ended horribly, by the way. And I hate Fading Hearts with all of my not fading heart, okay? Okay. I don't know the story of this game, okay? Mina bought it for me. So I'm just gonna play it, and I don't know what to feel. Okay, let's start. Interface tutorial. How to play. Clicking the right mouse button or escape key will bring up the game menu, blah 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 blah. Okay. The status panel, apparently my name is Amy, so... There are 4 dateable characters. Goddamn. Hold on. Shit! Okay, I didn't get to read it, but oh well. Easy difficulty level. Standard intro. We were walking together, hand in hand, watching as... Hold on. The sun descended... Blah blah blah. The evening was wearing on, and the warm colors of the twilight were starting to fade from the sky. Amarantha. That's like combining 3 different names. What the fuck? I don't know what to do. This is also the part where I establish who will have what voices. You're doing enough. Don't worry about things so much. But he still doesn't approve of me. Do you think he doesn't like my job? Maybe he thinks it doesn't earn enough money. Or that I should be doing something better? I'd like to do more, but it's the best part-time job I could find. His eyes were sympathetic as he looked down at my worried expression. I know he feels bad that his father, Osher, what the fuck is up with these names, was creating so much grief for us, but I also knew that the situation was going to be difficult when I decided to stay with him. I don't think it's your work. He can be pretty stubborn. I know some people think that I could do better. It's not like a job at an ice cream parlor is anything special. That explains the ice cream. I'm attending my first year of college for creative writing. It's a natural fit, since I've always loved to write poetry and prose. I had to take a part-time job during the summer to pay for my studies. Some girls in my class have really good summer jobs. Honestly, I don't think he'd approve of any girl without a lot of persuading first. I don't think it's anything personal. He's just being stubborn. Yes, but after all this time, I really thought that he would have warmed up to me by now. He just doesn't understand that we're serious about our relationship. Or he doesn't want to understand. It's been so exasperating, since everyone else had been so supportive of us. He'll come around eventually. It's just a matter of time. I hope so. I just wish he wouldn't object to... I just wish he wouldn't object to almost every time he finds out we're going out on a date. I know, but it'll get better soon. I promise. We reached the staircase that led back to the boardwalk and parking lot. Even over the sand dunes, I could see where Aaron's motorcycle is parked. Oh, motorcycle! You got yourself a nice guy. Basically a death trap on wheels. We were about to ascend the stairs when he stopped and turned to face me. He took my other hand in his and leaned down gently, kissing me on the lips. Ooh, 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 my fangirl senses are tingling. Although he's not as attractive as he could be. I couldn't help but smile slightly, feeling my anxiety melt away. Don't look so worried all the time, okay? You're much more beautiful when you're smiling, Amy. So that's what Amy's short for, Amarantha. What the fuck? I returned the smile and leaned up to kiss him again. Gross. You're such a romantic. You make it sound like a bad thing. You just look like you're permanently stoned, dude. We both laughed as we ascended the stairs, still hand in hand. This is definitely how it should be. I always feel so safe with him at my side. Let's go home, alright? Okay, but can we stop for ice cream first? I get an employee discount on everything, you know. Sure. They have the best new type of ice cream sundae now. We should split one. Sounds good. My smile grew bigger. And also I can't read, so shut up. My smile grew brighter as pleasant thoughts passed through my mind. He mounted his motorcycle, and I sat on the back, wrapping my arms round his middle and holding on tightly. I rested my head against his broad shoulders and let a contented sigh escape my lips as the engine started up. Sorry I keep moving, my mouse is probably fucking irritating. The sun disappeared beneath the horizon, and the darkness of night began to overtake the sky. Choking on my own spit a little bit. We sped out of the parking lot in less than a minute, and onto the nearly empty road that led back into town. The trees blurred as we flew down the road. You're not wearing a helmet. We were only driving for a short while before a strange feeling of foreboding settled over me. I need to learn how to read. I shivered involuntarily, despite the warm temperature, and squeezed Aaron tightly, watching as it got darker and darker on the one-way road. I was thinking of what to make for us for breakfast in the morning when we reached an intersection. We waited patiently for the light to change color, and when the green circle let off its artificial glow, sorry. Aaron resumed driving. He had just entered the intersection when, very suddenly, I heard it. What? I looked up, eyes wide with confusion, to see another car barreling down the road, swerving back and forth as it approached us. You're not wearing a helmet! Aaron tried to steer away from the oncoming vehicle, but there was no hope of evasion. The car made no attempt to brake as it passed through the red light and collided with us. All I remembered before was the hellacious sound of crash and losing consciousness was Aaron turning the motorcycle to try and protect me from being directly hit. When I opened my eyes, the brightness of the lights above me were almost blinding. Though I had never spent very much time in a hospital, I recognized the scent of disinfectant and various other cleaners to be similar to what one smelled like in a doctor's office. Where am I? It took me another moment of waiting before my eyes to adjust to the bright lights before I remembered what had happened. My eyes widened in horror at the vividness of the memory. Aaron! I sat up abruptly, feeling a dull ache when I moved. Why the fuck does a hospital gown have puffy fucking sleeves? A nurse out in the hallway heard my son cry, and I quickly hurried inside my room. Miss, please lay back down. You weren't seriously injured in the crash, but we would like you to rest before we decide if you're ready to be released. I will be looking after you until the time comes. Your injuries are minimal, only minor bruising, but we can't let you leave just yet. Minor bruising? She got hit with a car from the All they had was a fucking motorcycle. Like, she should have died. We were in a car accident, right? That's correct. But please, lay back down. We're very glad to see you conscious, but rest is imperative. I reluctantly laid back down, but I was completely awake and not letting the woman leave before I heard a proper explanation. Can you tell me what happened? What about the man who was with me, Aaron? Is he okay? The nurse's expression seemed to darken slightly when I mentioned him, which made me worry even more. What happened? I have to know. I'm not fully aware of the situation. I need to call Dr. Rayner. He can explain everything to you. He's dead. He's totes dead. Ooh, I bet this is one of the guys. I don't know, I didn't get to read the names in the tutorial. I waited impatiently, dissatisfied with the nurse's quick departure. It only took a few moments for a handsome young man in a doctor's uniform to enter the room. I was surprised to see that he wasn't all that much older than Aaron, and I, most likely a fresh graduate out of medical school. I'm half tempted to make him British, because he reminds me of Britain from Italia. Like, just put thick fucking eyebrows on that, and you have Britain from Italia. Good evening, Amy. I'm very glad to see you're awake. My name is Eddie Rayner, but you can call me Eddie. The man said with a warm smile, revealing perfectly white teeth. Yes, good evening. What time is it? Is it still Saturday? Actually, it's technically Sunday. It's 3 in the morning. I'd be happy to answer your questions, but you should probably get back to bed soon. By the way, my British accent sucks ass. I do this for fun, not for accuracy. So don't haze me in the comments for being a little ass. I'm not doing anything until I find out what happened to Aaron. The young doctor's smile faded, much like his reaction to the nurses. Fuck. Unable to hold back my growing worry, I found myself starting to yell as tears, gathered in my eyes. I have to know what happened to him. Please, is he alright? Eddie stood up and nodded toward the door, motioning for me to follow. You just fucking told the chick to go back to bed and you're just like, hey, follow me. I felt my heart sink, then begin to fill with cold dread. He noticed the fear in my expression and gave me a brief explanation. I'd rather show you his current condition, but I assure you, he's fine and his life is in no danger. He sustained a head injury. He will recover. And it doesn't seem like any severe damage, but he has lost some of his memories. We're still trying to observe the specifics of just what he has forgotten. As the nurse probably told you, your injuries are minimal. Both of you should have fucking died! Please follow me. I can take you to him so you can see that he is alright. I hurried, pulling on a pair of slippers that had been left beside my bed, and followed after the young doctor as he led me out of my hospital room into the hallway, listening attentively to every word he said. That's a mouthful. From what I can tell, he was trying to protect you during the crash. We're keeping you overnight for observation, but other than some bruises, you're perfectly okay. You don't have any broken bones or severe internal bleeding, thanks to Aaron's efforts. I felt my heart wrench as I followed him through the hallways. He wasn't walking very quickly, apparently conscious word of how tired I felt. Aaron. From what I can tell, Aaron is suffering. What the fuck is up with me in this section? I cannot. From what we can tell, Aaron is suffering from amnesia. He still retains long-term memories, but recent ones from the past few years are hazy or non-existent. He's quite a bit confused at the moment, so we want to be sure not to cause him any unnecessary emotional stress. We need him to regain his memory on his own. Fuck. But it will be in slow steps. I see. This is my studio. I know this is a lot to take in, so please feel free to ask me any questions you might have. He still remembers his family, but he doesn't seem to recall anything from recent years. You mean he doesn't remember me? I'm sorry. We asked him about having a girlfriend, but he doesn't seem to remember anyone by the name Amy. I felt the tears I'd been determined not to cry welling up again, ready to fall. I see. We walked through the doorway and into a room with the glass window that let me see into Aaron's room. I'm sorry to ask you of this of you, but since we don't want to cause him any grief or aggravate his condition, I must ask that you do not meet with him yet. He is very confused at the moment and needs rest. I understand. I remained there for a long time, watching him and letting tears silently slip down my cheeks as two nurses spoke to Aaron, who wore a perplexed expression. How could you forget all about me? Oh. You can move between locations using the map. Right now, you can only return back to your home, but later in the game you will be able to move wherever you want. Fuck, I need to go home? Okay. I was released from the hospital in the morning and came right home. When I walked inside, I was greeted with a soft meow when my cat, Mina, brushed up against my leg. Hi, Nina. Did you miss me? I smiled and reached down to pet her affectionately, though I couldn't help but remember how Aaron would always fuss over her. He doesn't remember. I can assure you that, woman. Mina was a great judge of character, and she adored Aaron, even before he started bringing treats for her all the time. Aaron always loved cats so much. He loved big cats and little cats like you, but you were always his favorite kitty. Mina cuddled my fingers affectionately when I knelt down to pick her up. But Aaron has probably forgotten about you too. The sadness I had been trying to keep out of the front of my mind returned as I pulled the cat into a race inside. I had slept very poorly, and the fatigue from the crash hadn't worn off. I lost my parents in a car accident, and now it looks like I'm gonna lose the man that I love to one as well. I sat in the living room with Mina on my lap when Gwenda came in to comfort me. Oh, Amy, what happened? I briefly tell her about the accident. She was overjoyed to know that I was alright, and that I had hardly been hurt. Oh, thank God you're okay. But why didn't you call me? The doctor said I was alright, and I didn't want you to worry about me. I had been staying with my Aunt Gwenda for several years, since my parents passed away when I was young. Gwenda had taken care of me ever since. She is a kind woman, and I greatly appreciated how caring she had always been to me. However, her pension wasn't enough to fully pay for my college tuition, which is why I took the part-time job at an ice cream parlor. Bleh. You can now make your first choice. Several icons will pop up, showing all the possible actions in this location. On each icon, you'll see a brief description and the effects of the action. Each choice consumes at least one turn of game time. Some actions are only available during certain periods of the day. For example, Aunt Gwenda goes to bed at very early, so you won't find her hanging around at late hours. It's now noon, so a good thing to do would be to eat something, or you can just relax and read a book. I'm gonna cook something.
Awesome!
What is it? Oh my God!